This is a Les Paul. This is an SG. I clarified the differences just so you know that I know what I'm talking about when I tell you this, that this is a Les Paul. Hey everybody, welcome back to my Pink Room of Doom. As always, I hope you're doing well today. Please make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell notification, all the good YouTube stuff. I really appreciate it. Again, you guys make all of these videos possible. You give me the motivation to help make these videos, all that kind of stuff. I love seeing how much the channel has grown. Thank you guys sincerely so much. Check links in the description if you want to help support the channel in any other way besides just subscribing, all that kind of fun stuff. Now, I think the majority of you are aware of the story and the history of Gibson and changing the Les Paul to the SG and all that kind of stuff. So we're not going to cover that here. If you're interested, there are plenty of other videos that cover it. I just want to talk about this guitar personally and my experience with it. So most people know, or if you're a regular viewer, you know that I'm a big Les Paul guy. Traditional, what you think of as the Les Paul, the single cut design. Love them. I also have a soft spot for SGs. They're great guitars, but they're very peculiar. They're very, individual, right? I tell everybody, if you're gonna pick up an SG, you need to play one before you buy it, most times. Or at least get some very detailed information about it, because to me, especially between Gibson and Epiphone, I think that the Gibson and Epiphone variants of SGs are the biggest differences. The Les Pauls are pretty similar in most cases, but specifically in the neck with Epiphones and Gibsons, generally speaking, I do not like the necks on an Epiphone SG. That's why I have my Gibson SG, because I was tired of looking through Epiphone SGs, not finding what I like, and then the 61 standard SG, the Gibson one I have, beautiful. It's everything I could ask for in an SG. But this came along. I found this at GC. They're doing some kind of clearance sale. I don't know if they're still doing it. I'm filming this video in advance, but at the time of filming this, I got this thing probably a week ago. They're doing a major clearance sale, I guess, to get rid of all the old inspired by Gibson with the Kalamazoo headstock stuff to bring in the new open book style headstock stuff. I got this brand new for just over $600. These things retail for, I think, $949 brand new. So after tax, you'd be paying over $1,000 for one of these, but I got it with the case, plastic all over it. I think it was marked at like $598. And I was like, wow. I don't think I've ever played one of these up until that point. So I want to go ahead and just kind of talk about my experience with it, because I think this is probably one of the pinnacles if you're looking for a non-Gibson branded SG, which I know these are Gibson branded. Shut up. I'm talking about if it doesn't say Gibson up here. So it's a good way to start at the headstock. So it is the Kalamazoo headstock. Like I said, it is the older one. It's got typical SG appointments here, but it says Les Paul on the truss rod cover. Again, you guys can figure out the story yourself. Kluson style Epiphone Deluxe tuners. These are probably my favorite style of tuner on Les Pauls and SGs. I just love it. Just makes it look more vintage, kind of a vintage looking aesthetic nut for stuff like this. Speaking of nuts, GravTech nut here helps tremendously with the tuning stability. Funny thing about this, I did change the strings on it and clean it up, do my whole little setup process on it when I got it. Just put some Diodario 10-46s on it, and it was in tune immediately. Just stayed in tune. Crazy. Probably has to do with the nut and the grade tune. Coming down to the neck, it's a Slim Taper C neck, very similar to the Gibson 61 standard neck. Very similar, which I guess makes sense because this is modeled after a 61, so it feels very, very similar to my Gibson, which I love that. It's got a Laurel fingerboard, which I know people don't really like Laurel, they prefer rosewood. I don't care either way as long as it looks nice, and on this one, it looks pretty nice. Medium jumbo frets, there's 22 of them, is standard Gibson scale length, 24 3/4 inches. Pearloid trapezoid inlays, so again, so far looking like a Gibson, all that kind of stuff all around. The back of the neck here is like this aged satin, kind of glossy, whatever they're calling it, aged gloss finish. I love it, it feels great. The whole body is finished in that, well, the whole guitar is, back of the neck, back of the headstock, everything. Feels great, looks great, I love it. And then again, going down to the body, standard SG, what you would know as the SG now, appointments here. You got Gibson humbuckers in here, burst bucker 2 and 3, and then you got the Tune-o-matic bridge and tailpiece here. You have 3-way switch, it is a Switchcraft switch. You have CTS pots, Mallory capacitors, I mean top-notch stuff. Everybody knows that was what they were doing with these inspired by Gibson stuff, putting great electronics in it. I think it's a Switchcraft output jack, something like that. Again, it's finished in this beautiful aged satiny kind of finish, cherry finish. Again, I think cherry is the only color that an SG should be in. That's just my opinion. And then for me personally, I like the smaller pick guard. I don't really care for the big batwing pick guard. I know that's just a cosmetic thing, but I much prefer this. And it's multi-ply, it's like 5-ply, something like that. Flipping over to the back here, on the cavity cover here for the electronics, it says Epiphone inspired by Gibson Custom, just so you know what you got. And again, yeah, it's, I mean, your standard SG. If you're looking, I'll just call it an SG. It's a Les Paul, but Les Paul SG, whatever. If you're looking for a really good SG from Epiphone, because like I said, I think the standards, like the non-Gibson custom whatevers, just like the little $4.99 standards, I think that they're probably pretty good, right? But if you don't like the gloss, like the real thick, shiny gloss, and you want something that's more satiny, I'm telling you, look for one of these. Even used. These things are absolutely fantastic. I love the playability on this thing. The neck feels great with that satiny finish on it. The action, I was able to get it super low. It just feels great to play. This is everything that I was looking for in an Epiphone SG. Point blank period. It's on par with Gibson in every single way. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click my logo somewhere on the screen. That'll help you get subscribed to the channel if you're not already. If you want to check out some of my other videos, there should be some boxes coming up right over here somewhere. You can click one of those. It'll take you right to it. And if you want to support the channel in any other way besides just subscribing, check the link in the description of any of my videos for my Teespring store. You can pick up a shirt, hoodie, sticker, whatever tickles your fancy. And until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.